So Oprah, although I don't know that she's exactly in Bilderberg, she is part of another little group called the Good Club, which includes Bill Gates, George Soros, Warren Buffett. This was reported on by The Guardian some years ago. And their whole modus operandi is depopulation. So I would say that maybe not directly, but indirectly, that it would relate to Bilderberg people, sure.
What do you think about that, Tommy?
Well, I think that for a very long time, we didn't give a crap about anything like this, right? I used to bring up groups like Bilderberg and watch everybody that I knew glaze over. You know what I mean? Like they just did not want to hear it. And I think we're getting to a place now where you can start to bring up these conversations, or Bohemian Grove, or any of the, of these, conspiracy theories that we know damn well now aren't conspiracy theories, right? It absolutely been played out, and we know that they're going out into the woods and doing grab ass or whatever they're doing out there, right? People have gone out there to see them, and these are very famous individuals. I think it almost gets back to what I was saying on the last answer. I think this is our shot, right? I believe that this is our opportunity to either do something or not, because right now I think all of the world is looking at this, and they're all talking about things like human tea and stuff like that. Yeah, this is our shot.
So Jay's got two more Oprah revelations. Is the next one?
If you look at, for example, the Roman Catholic abuse, pedo stuff of the last several years, last several decades, you'll find a lot of parallels with those operations as well. They always use, it's kind of a technology of compromise. It's the same pattern and maybe like structure of how they do this. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's not connections to people at that level. I'm sure there is.
In your intro, you mentioned about Epstein and you mentioned about the Franklin scandal. What parallels do you see with those cases with the Diddy case?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's several. There's King Cora, there's Elm Guest House, there's Franklin. I did a podcast maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago, where I was covering all of these that I could think of and find that had similar patterns. And so I think I came up with about 16 of these cases where you had this element of a network that is kind of in on it. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of people. It can be a handful of people. And essentially they are utilizing espionage techniques to lure and entrap people in a way in situations that either they're willing or not willing. So you might have a situation where people are drugged. They wake up next to a prostitute. They wake up next to somebody underage. Hey, we got you on tape. You messed up last night. You shouldn't have done that. But look, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna be your friend. That seems to be really obvious and what's going on in the Epstein situation. If you read in depth into that, he obviously had a lot of capabilities that really,
and huge parallels there with Diddy and what Adrian just said, isn't there, Tommy?
Yeah, it's and again the depravity, right, of these people and these groups. If 2 years ago, if you had said, if you had accused Diddy of what he is allegedly being accused of now, and you did that a couple of years ago, you would have been laughed out of the arena as a conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean? And I think we're starting to really, we're starting to understand. And there are people out there that are doing some research instead of just taking the mainstream media kind of BS party line that they always dish out. There are people now that get online and start looking this stuff up and start watching other programs. The new media, honestly, the new media has got to be terrifying them, because this is to go on at the level that it has been going on at. Nobody doubts this. There's nobody that doubts it except the people who are putting out the propaganda now at this point.
So his final point is on Oprah's land ownership in Hawaii. Let's play this.
No, of course not. I think a lot of these people at that level, that they really get off on hurting people. I think there's a certain level of sickness that you get to when you burned out your pleasure centers in your brain, your dopamine centers, and really the only thing that gives you pleasure is like the most depraved type of stuff. So I think they actually get off on hurting people. So I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, that's absolutely sickening. So let's see. Put a one in the chat if you think Oprah is trustworthy? Put a 2 in the chat if you do not think Oprah is trustworthy. Yes, lab management. Do not idolize celebrities. Right, let me go back to the questions 1 second. All right. So is Elon Musk trustworthy? That's from Oprah. Right, I must have missed that about the land ownership. But it's like they're all doing this philanthropic stuff, trying to sugarcoat the evil deeds, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And she rolled out with that charity where it was Oprah Winfrey and it was The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and they wanted to raise money to help everybody over there, and they led off with a little of their own cash, right? $5 million apiece. Which is a lot of money, right? To donate $5 million is a fortune, but it's a lot less of a fortune for her than it was for the actor that was standing with her, right? This is a woman who allegedly has multi-billion dollars, but she's a friggin' mercenary. I mean, she really is. So right now in our country, allegedly, they're saying that she took $1 million to campaign this year. Got paid $1 million to do the show that she did with them. I mean, that's so you didn't believe in it. That's I think she's such a mercenary. She really is. She's an evil woman. Evil. I hope she was a 10. Was she a 10 when you did the test?
I think a lot of people were voting 10.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go back to J-Lo now. So when all this was starting out, we had Busby on. And it's interesting now to hear what he says about J-Lo in the context of what we now know after interviewing so many people about the shootout. Love to get Shine on. Anyway, here's Busby. Okay, there's speculation that the death of Kim Porter could be reinvestigated. The shooting involving J-Lo in 1999 in the nightclub could be relooked at. Do you have any thoughts on those types of scenarios?
No, I'm not going to wade into that. I mean, obviously, that's something that the first question I always get is who's involved, what big name celebrities involved, and I rebuff that, and then I'm asked about the J-Lo and the shooting that you're referencing, or even the shooting of Tupac, and I have no comments on any of that. I don't know anything about that other than what everyone else knows.
All right, question from Marie about the banks then. So in the Epstein case, we saw huge settlements. I think it was JP Morgan, hundreds of millions. Do you see parallels in this case with the banks? Is that the way it's going to? Yeah, they did pay out a lot for Epstein. All right, so Busby not really giving up much there with hindsight.
Yeah.
But we had Netanya on, Tommy. Have you seen what Netanya?
Yes.
Story?
Yeah, I was actually on with her. I came on with her the other day. She has never wavered at all. Not in any way, shape, or form from the very first night until today. There's never been even a glimmer of a doubt of this is what I saw. Imagine looking down at something that's coming at you out of one of those devices. I promise you it's going to be etched into your mind forever. And she sees it, right? That's something that she absolutely sees. It bums me out that.
Let me explain to the viewers who Netanya is. So Netanya has been on the channel several times in the last week, and Netanya was at the nightclub the night of the shooting, whereby bullets were exchanged. Diddy's there, Shine's there, J-Lo's there, and I think a security guy, the main protagonists. Anyway, they race off through red lights, I think 10 of them. The cops pull over J-Lo, pull over Diddy. Shine takes the fall, gets paid $1 million. J-Lo walks, Diddy walks. But Netanya is saying that Diddy shot her in the face. It went through the nose. She described in graphic detail the trajectory of the bullet the other night. Honestly, it was some of the most mesmerizing testimony I've ever heard in my life. Yes, Netanya is so inspirational. And she wants justice. And with all of the attention on this case now, and all of Diddy's past being relooked at and unearthed, God bless her, and hopefully she will get justice. But what are your thoughts on that whole incident, Tommy, and how these wealthy celebs can just walk away from a female getting shot in the face.
Yeah,
I did meet people in prison who they were just present when something happened. They weren't even an instigator.
That's
and
right.
They get lifed off.
Yeah, felony murder. If you happen to have, in fact, you don't have to even be close to there. You could have set it up in your apartment ahead of time. But if you were there talking about the planning, you're as guilty as the person that pulled the trigger. That's kind of how they make that run. This is a case that, Shine didn't take the fall because he wanted to take the fall, right? Shine thought that Diddy was out to help him out through this entire process, and then allegedly he took his lawyer put together the prosecution's case. Here's the person you need to call. Here's how you can get a hold of them. Here's the next witness that you need to call. Here's how you can get a hold of them. Here's their stories. And went and dropped it on the prosecutor's desk. That's how that case went down. And Shine went away he got a 10-year sentence. It's not a short rip. He had to do a little over 8 of it. 18 years old. From 18, the next 8 years of your life, right? That's when you're going to be the strongest, right? To steal that from somebody.